You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
He tuned in to Let's Yap About It. Even though I don't talk, but he got something to say. Stuck emotions out now.
Tune in to Let's Yap About It. This ain't no podcast, it's a problem cast. I know why the name Fat Pimp Texas very own. Hey man, tell your baby mama I'm looking for her. Tell your wife I'm looking for her. That's what it is, man. Let's Yap About It, man. This ain't no podcast, it's a problem cast. Fat motherfucker Pimp, let's go, man.
Yeah. Let's yap about it. Yeah. Let's yap about it. Yap About It podcast. Starring Raw Bass. Let's yap about it. Yeah. Let's yap about it. Let's yap about it. Let's yap. Let go. Let's yap. We in the mix. Fit Too Savage. Let's yap about it. Content was so living, had to pray for all of my children. Now the whole world be listening. Talk to niggas from prison. Spoke how they was living, how the COs be tripping. Rappers losing on the back end because promoter dudes keep dipping. Seen the show when the dude started out of bloods, then start crippin'. Stripper niggas stop tipping, out of game niggas stop flipping. Bad attitude, so he had to move just to keep his ass out of prison. Seen a show about a young hoe, fucked on a sister, man, no apology. Let's yap about it. If the bitch come around me, she can holler at me. Check my Instagram, she was following me, cause she knew I be where them dollars be. Rapid funds, but I keep it going, I fuck you up, no apologies. Fit Too Savage, savage like music.
What's the deal, man? We are back, man. I know it's been a long time since I left you without something to put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? Your grind to, man. We back at it. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Man, we back at it, man. Real talk, man. We here. Man, listen. Listen here, man. There's been so much going on in the world today, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. We got a lot to discuss. There's been so many things going on, especially down at the port. Shout out to all the men out there, man, handling their business like they supposed to. You know what I mean? They doing their thing. We're gonna talk about that tonight, man. The strike ended. You know what I mean? They stuck to their guns. You know what I'm saying? They actually working out the agreements in the process. Shout out to the unions, man. Definitely shout out to the unions, man. You gotta have your unions out here. You gotta have your unions. They stuck together. They stuck together. They wrote it out together. I even predicted myself by Friday they wouldn't let this go on any further because at the end of the day, they are the essential workers. They do make this world go around, and I have to give them another applause, man. My salute and my hat goes off to them, man. Especially, I want to send a special shout out to my boys, man. Shout out to my boy Timbo, you know what I'm saying? I had to give him a shout out. I had to give a special shout out to Fry, you know, definitely him too. You know what I'm saying? Without him, I wouldn't have been able to make my way down there, man. So I had to give him some love and some much honor and much respect. I wanted to go over the topics tonight, man. We want to definitely get into it, man. We definitely got to talk about this, man. The port has reached an agreement. The port has reached an agreement, and I want y'all to understand the significance that this plays, right? I want y'all to see that they reached this huge agreement. We were on day 3 of the worldwide strike, and both sides have finally reached an agreement. What does this mean for the longshoremen of America? Where do we transition? Where do we go to next? And what does that mean for them in the near future? We're also going to talk about this, man. This thing is just in. We're going to talk about Garth Brooks is on the radar for sexual assault. Country music star Garth Brooks has been accused of sexual assault and battery in a lawsuit from Jane Roe, who says she worked as a hairstylist and makeup for the award, for the artist, for the award-winning singer. That's going on in the world. If you notice everything now, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna have to probably sign the NDA for people to be around you now. This is where we come into, because right now everybody's on the. This is in the famous words of Troy Terrain. We in the land of the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? We definitely in the land of the fuck shit where everybody wants to sue. Everybody wants to sue. You bump into somebody's suing. If they feel like you got a nickel over $1 right now, somebody's trying to take that nickel so that you could be right there, even below that dollar. So you got to be careful out here, man. NDAs are going to probably be in full effect with all this stuff coming out. And me talking about years down the line, man. It seems like there's no limitations of statute on whatever this is going on. So I feel like at the end of the day, man, you got to protect yourself. If you hold any type of value, not only to yourself, to your family, and to others, and you have any type of power, wealth, and influence, you got to protect yourself. You're going to have to. It's a must. I also want to talk about this too. Cardi B and Offset airing all they business out. It is a smear campaign, the end of marriage, when parties don't get their way. I want to talk about that tonight too. This is something that has to go in full effect. And then I also want to talk about this. The Bank of America outage hits America. Bank of America was hit with an outage on Wednesday afternoon, left some customers' accounts showing zero. No dollars. You know what I'm saying? So are these cyber attacks, or are we transitioning to a new currency? You've heard me talk about this years ago, about them testing the grounds of seeing if they'll be able to possibly transfer everything digitally. We're almost at that point now. And I also want to get into this, man. You already know I don't miss nothing. I'm everywhere. Florida law passes where homeless can't be in public. I know it says can, but it can't be in public. Florida law banning homeless people from sleeping in public outdoor spaces takes effect. What does that mean? Where do they go? I mean, at the end of the day, if that's illegal, where are they going to be able to? But I can understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, because right now they're turning Miami into the new California with all the investments, especially around South Beach and all the investments around Miami. They want that to be the vacation town. They want that area to be cleared out to where there's no homelessness, so where people can actually let their hair down and to be comfortable. I see what they're doing, but I think that there's some things that are going to be discussed tonight that I think that they could do to probably transition to that. But we got a lot to cover tonight, man. And without further ado, I want to bring y'all into the show. And if you ever watched for the first time, please like, subscribe, share, you know what I'm saying, this program. I don't mind. Throw me a thumbs up if you can hear me in the chat. I just want to know that y'all can hear me and you can hear me loud and clear. So let's get to it. Welcome to the Let's Yap About It podcast. We are the only tangible podcast here for the people. Listen, that's you. And without you, this would not be possible. I'm Robert Higgins, a.k.a. Yap, a.k.a. the Hood Voice of Reason, your host for tonight's broadcast. And listen, you listening to one of the best broadcasts in black media, hands down, for real. But first, I want to talk about this, right? The poor strike has reached an agreement. It was on its third day. And they finally said, hey, you know what? We can't afford this. I want to say this, and I'm talking to everybody. And the reason why I'm going to attack it at this angle is so we can all come together. So there's no big eyes and there's no little U's when it comes to the processing and understanding of how we work together as a collective, right? I'm going to tell this story because I want you to understand where we are all on the same equal playing field and we both play important parts. Whether you're in the white collar work, whether you're in the hard blue collar work, we all are effective in ways. But the thing is, you cannot class yourself, because the reason why you can't do that is because there may be a transition to where everything flip-flops. Trust me, don't ever think that in this lifetime that you could be sitting high on the hog and then it may never come down. You can be riding high in April, you can be shot down in May. Let me give you a prime example of that. You talking to somebody right now that was coming straight out of college, making great money. I mean, left home, you know what I'm saying, going to school, making damn good money, and went to pushing carts at HEB. Me, I wasn't afraid to do that. Was it hard for me to transition from that? Absolutely. As far as where I felt like I should have been. But here's the thing. I had to appreciate the value of where I was, and I had to appreciate the value of what I earned. And then when it was taken from me, I had to learn that and appreciate that more, because at the end of the day, I didn't realize the value it was. Because when you transition from something of where you're on top of the world and then you start going and almost hitting rock bottom, it can do something to your psyche. It can definitely do something to your psyche. And at the end of the day, was my mind mental down at the bottom? Yes, but I had to transition and I had to figure things out. That's why I tell people to be humble and to understand that your blessings are for you. Your blessings you deserve. But at the end of the day, don't take them blessings for granted. Because like I said, I went from making damn good money to pushing carts. And I had to understand that there was a high point of where I wanted to get back, but I understood that I had to do hard work. I had to make sacrifices. I had to eat shit sandwiches. Yes, me. I had to eat shit sandwiches to understand the appreciation of where I was. And I want to say this too. To anybody that had an attitude with the longshoremen or anybody that is an essential worker, and I call them essential workers because they do move this planet. If you had a problem with them, I'm going to say this right now, and I mean this respectfully. Kiss my ass. Straight up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because until you on that dock, risking your life, breathing in different fumes, risking falling in that water at the port, you don't understand what it means when you say blue collar work. That's hard work. I'm talking about you sweating. I'm talking about you taking your time. I'm talking about at any given moment, your life could be taken. Point blank, period. Until you're out there living and breathing that, and you got an attitude because you can't fill your store and you can't fill your position with goods, you should right now learn to appreciate who they are and what they bring to the table. I ain't no stranger to hard work. I'm no stranger to hard work because I bust my ass when I'm at work too. And at the end of the day, man, let me tell you something. Value if you are in that AC, because them dudes go down there in them ships. Them dudes are actually making sure the piping and all of the things that come together right here in America, right here in Texas, make things happen. So don't you dare ever in your life ever disrespect the longshoremen, because the clothes, the shoes, the food, the entertainment, the TV, everything is shipped from over there to here. And they safely put their life on the line to make sure that things are happening here like they're supposed to. man. And if you see a longshoreman, man, salute them, respect them, honor them, because they deserve just as much as respect as a person that's sitting in the office in the AC, comfortable at their job. But I do want to go over the particulars of the strike, and I do want to talk about the things that were negotiated in agreement. Right now, they agreed to suspend the strike. And then also, I want y'all to understand, and I'm reading this from an article. The International Longshore Association agreed Thursday to suspend the strike that closed down major parts of the eastern Gulf Coast, where we at. The move followed an improved wage offer from port employers. The strike, which dock workers union began on Tuesday, threatened to weigh on the economy 5 weeks before national elections. Now, the alliance have offered to increase wages by 62% over the course of a new 6-year contract, according to a person familiar with negotiations who did not want to be identified because the talks were continuing. That increase is to lower what the union had initially asked for, but much higher than the alliance's earlier offer. In a statement, the union said that it had reached a tentative agreement on wages and that its 4,500 members would go back to work, with the current contract extended until January 15th. The union said it was returning to the bargaining table to negotiate all other outstanding issues, the alliance issued in a similar statement. Now, I want you to understand, this wage increase is a clear victory for the ILA. Shout out to the ILA, for real. They did their thing. That's when you call standing on business. I'm going to tell you something. I'm all for the small guy. I don't give a damn about the corporate world. I'm here to let you know that now. I'm all for the people having, I'm talking about wages that make their lifestyle comfortable, not just for themselves, but for their families. A lot of those men that are out there have families. They are taking care of family. And when I just say not immediately family and children, some of them are actually taking care of their mothers and fathers. Trust me, at the end of the day, that burden on a man out there, and also to the women, send a special shout out to the women. There's some women out there that's working hard too. Don't make no mistake about it. There are women out there working just as hard too. So imagine the load that they have on their shoulders to supply their family and their needs with workable wages. And I'm talking about workable wages to where they can be comfortable. And understand this too. Everybody don't want to be wealthy. Some people just want to be comfortable. Some people want to leave a legacy of some sort. And I'm saying not to the extended portfolio of a multi-Fortune 500 company or a multi-billion-dollar company, but to be able to afford their children and the next legacy to be better. That's what we're talking. These unions are talking about making livable wages for the people to be able to continue on living their life to where they don't have to struggle. So if anything happens, because mind you, they're putting their bodies and they're putting their life on the line. You have to understand the sincerity of what this means. And they're actually getting to an agreement. And I want people to understand that you want people to stand firmly with you, especially if things ain't fair across the board. Real talk. That's important. That's very important, because let me tell you something. There are going to be young guys that are inspired to work just as hard as the men that have been out there 10, 15, 20 years. And let me tell you something. Most people, hey, if you think that longshoremen don't make money, man, they bust their ass for that bread. And let me tell you something. For you being out there, blood, sweat, tears, man, men have lost fingers out there, lost arms out there. Let me tell you something, man. Real talk. My heart, my spirit, my understanding, and my love goes out to them, man, because like I said, they do make America go round. And I'm proud of the ILA, and I'm proud of them putting it on the line, picket fence, picketing everything outside, letting everybody know and letting the world hear them. This was worldwide. The world heard this. BBC News, all the CNN, Fox News, everybody heard this. Because at the end of the day, it might not think so, but it might affect you. So shout out to them, man. And I appreciate everything that they do, man. Real talk, man. Those are the essential workers. Yeah, you have your doctors, you have your nurses, but guess what? You got your essential workers like them boys who be putting their life on the line. But I also wanted to talk about this point too. A lot of times, the effectiveness of a protest or a strike is so your voice can be heard. And the reason why I say this is because the story that I was going to tell earlier, but I can relate it to this now, is about people being greedy on the corporate side, and the people that actually make the world function, they get nothing but pennies on the dollar, or they get crumbs off the table. Let me understand something. I got my first lesson of greed when I understood this. I'm not going to say no names or particularly, but I'm going to give you the whole gist of the story. So one time, there was a principal that worked at a high school, and he pulled up on a Saturday with his brand new S550 Benz, clean as I don't know what, on a Saturday, right? Now, this is the principal. Now, also, here's the kicker. The janitor pulls up. The janitor pulls up with the same identical brand new Benz S550 loaded, just like the principal's, right? Now, check this out. The principal seen him with the S550 Benz and was wondering, well, he's just a janitor. How could he afford something like that? But here's the funny thing. The janitor could afford it because he worked at the same school. Now, check this out. And this is how you know that greed be the way it is and how we try to separate ourselves. Check this out. So the principal was so up in arms about it, he went to do an investigation on the janitor and how he was making the money. Come to find out, the janitor was making the money because he was making the necessary sacrifices for his school, putting in the work for his school, making sure that his school was clean and tidy at all times, every day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, including when they had basketball games, including when they had volleyball games, including when they had different tournaments or educational programs there at the school. Now, I want you to understand something. A janitor, not just one, but it was several of them, and they had to work an entire building. They had to work 3 buildings. 3. Top floor, bottom floor of 3 buildings. Science building, annex building, 2 gyms, swim, where they swam at 2, T buildings, teachers lounge, cafeteria. All of these played an important part on a daily basis for that school to function the way that it did. Now, check this out. They drew up almost 2 months worth of video footage to see if he was skimming on the clock, trying to ride the clock, trying to buy time and what have you. Come to find out, this man was actually at work all the time. He never, ever schemed on the clock. That man dedicated his time, his energy, his love, and his focus on his job to make sure that that school was efficient, right? Now, here's the kicker. After they found out that he really was on the clock and he was doing his business, he had put a lot of money into his retirement. And you know what they did? They told him that he had to go ahead, if he wanted to, they would have to drop the percentage of what he was putting in his retirement due to the fact that he had made that much money on not just a 40 hour, but he was also doing overtime. So that man was working like he was working overtime to make sure that that school ran efficiently. So guess what? At the end of the day, it pays the cost to be the boss. This man took his time. That man deserved every penny that he worked for. We're talking a janitor making 100 and something thousand, just as much as the principal was. Now, the principal's heart and ego was so fueled with so much disbelief of him being able to afford it, he wanted to take that from him. But at the end of the day, he retired a wealthy man. At the end of the day, he left the school in his hands. And he did what he was supposed to do. So when he walked away from the school, there was no pity and there was no shame about what he done. But let that be a lesson to y'all, that some people think that you don't deserve what you deserve when you've made the sacrifices. You took the time, you've paid the energy, you studied, you've done all of what you've done to get where you get. But understand something, just because you have an education doesn't mean that you just the end all and be all of making money. There are other people out here that can make money in other areas just like you. One of the most people that actually influence our children today, the man that made Hot Cheetos was a janitor, and now he's a CEO right over there in that company. Come on, man. You don't understand. You have to treat people according. You have to treat people the same. It's a lot of people that are in their positions right now, sitting up high, looking low down on people, thinking that they better than them. No, you not. At the end of the day, you're good at something because you acquired a skill. That does not qualify to make you better. I don't give a damn if you play basketball. I don't give a damn if you're a judge. I don't give a damn if you're a CEO of a company. You have acquired an education to require for them on a job requirement that skill. That's it. It does not make you a better person. Because there are lots of company men. There are lots of people that are CEOs or in high positions and supervisory positions that treat their people like shit. And at the end of the day, they are no better than the people that are working. Because guess what? You got to understand the same people that you sitting there looking down on are the same people that will surpass you, and they will remember how you treated them. So understand that those people out there on that longshoreman that are dedicating their lives, trust me, the way he talked in those interviews was with confidence. You know why? Because he knows what it takes. That man has dedicated his time, his energy in the military, and as well as a longshoreman to understand the importance and the value of the wages to be put on the workers. So if you got somebody like that fighting for you, damn it, I want them fighting like that for me. And if we understand how, if we could actually unify on some of these places, and I want to talk about this. If companies cared more about the employees and the customers than they did their stockholders, they wouldn't be in the funk that they are today. When you understand business, it's not just about profit. We've heard the guy from Arizona Teas come out and said that I don't have to change my prices because my company is already profitable. How many CEOs can say that? We've seen right now, if that wasn't the truth, when we seen the debacle with Chipotle and their servants, a CEO wouldn't have to get up off his ass who was already making millions of dollars, would have to address the people. That's what you have to understand as a consumer. You have the power. You don't have to buy. You do not have to shop. You do not have to patronize anywhere. The power is in your hands. Understand, the power is in your hands. See, a lot of times with these people, we think that, they think that they're sitting so high above us as the consumer that they don't have to say anything. But you see, he got up off his fat ass. You see, he got up off his fat ass and started addressing people about portions, right? You see what effectiveness that the people can make. So just imagine when it comes to this politics thing. Just imagine when it comes to you actually coming to see these high-ass prices and they justifying the prices being high, when we can sit here and see that Arizona has been around since God knows when and hasn't had to change its prices. And he's still making profit. Come on, man. Understand what business is. It ain't just about profit. It's just as much about the people. So if you put the people first, the profit will come. If you ever get a chance, check out the movie Casino. There's a movie scene in that movie that stuck out to me, and I didn't want to put it out here because I didn't want to get a copyright strike. I seen the movie, and they were sitting at a table, and Sam Rothstein was frustrated. Sam Rothstein was looking, and he was talking to his friend, and what he did was he said, "Look at this." He said, "What are you talking about? What's going on?" He said, "Look at mine and look at yours." His blueberry muffin only had maybe a speck of muffins in it, maybe a speck of blueberry, while his was loaded. He said, "You know what? I can't do this." You know what I'm saying? When anything you want done, you got to do it yourself. Now, understand from a corporate standpoint, he was in charge of watching the whole casino. He was in charge of watching and make sure that everything and all the food was to be comfortable for all the guests that came to visit the Tangiers Casino. That man went right back in that kitchen and told the chef. He said, "Look at this. What's going on with this?" He was like, "What?" He said, "It's a blueberry muffin." He said, "No, it's not. At the end of the day, it's supposed to have blueberries in it." He said, "I want an equal amount of blueberries in each muffin." So the chef looked at him startled and said, "Hey, what do you mean?" He's like, "I want an equal amount of blueberries in each muffin." And he said, "Do you know how long that's going to take?" And you know what Sam Rothstein looked at him and told him? He said, "I don't give a damn how long it takes. Just get it done." That's what I'm talking about, having that kind of effectiveness in your spirit and your soul to care about the people more than you do about the profit. Because at the end of the day, you're going to make the money. But the thing is, you can't make the people come and want to spend money with you. And that's exactly what I'm talking about with these longshoremen. You can't make these guys do something that you ain't capable of doing yourself. So at the end of the day, yeah, you can receive your bonuses, you can receive all of whatever your accolades and stuff like that. But you have to thank the workers on the bottom side, because them the ones that are out here nailing it. Them are the guys that are out here tired than a motherfucker. These are the guys that are going on 6 hours, 8 hours sleep, trying to make this world turn. So you got to give a damn good respect for them. And that's what I mean in the terms of business, being able to be effective and respectable on both parts. And if you are able to do that, then your company will thrive. If you're able to do that, then you be able to leverage yourself the way that these men out there as longshoremen came together to say, hey, this is what we want, this is what we need, and we're demanding it because guess what? We've leveraged ourselves to be effective, not just here in the port of Houston, the port of Alabama, the port of California, the port of Florida, the port of Miami, all these places that make this goddamn country what it is. So if anybody that's sitting in the government, anybody that's sitting in the corporation and say that we are expandable, you got the game fucked up. Understand that. Understand that. Like I told you, at the end of the day, respect the workers, respect everything that you do, and take everything that you do serious. You heard me say this. In order to be taken serious, you got to be serious about yourself. And when you heard that man speak, that man wasn't playing no games, so shout out to him. And look, if you guys want to get on, I'm gonna send the thing. If you want to drop a comment, say anything about on this subject, we can revisit it. It's there. It's in the chat, so you already know. I love for people to come up. If you want to speak on the situation and speak on the port, hey, by all means, we can talk about it. But I also want to address this too, and I want to say this: Garth Brooks is on the radar for sexual assault. Country music star Garth Brooks has been accused of sexual assault and battery in a lawsuit from Jane Roe, who says she's worked as a hairstylist and makeup artist for the award-winning singer. I want to dive into this. Now we're starting to see the influx of people trying to, I honestly say, and this is just straight up real, I think they're trying to get a whole pension. I think people are at the bottom part of their years, and now they're looking for a quick cash out. I mean, we have to understand right now, the playing field, and I'm talking to the young brothers, and I'm talking to the young sisters for us to understand each other and to hold a value with one another. Right now, people that are in their late 30s and 40s and 50s, they have spent time bullshitting and fucking over other people and wasting time and not saving like they were supposed to. I'm talking about being around certain individuals who had money, power, wealth, and influence, and they've squandered their riches, they've squandered their money, and now they're trying to figure out what kind of way that I can extract the resources or any type of monetary gain from the people who were that influential, and now they're trying to take those wages from them. Understand, I'm talking to you as the youth. If you have any type of value, any type of assets and resources that you know that are valuable, there are people trying to extract those from you. Listen to me. You cannot look one way because you'll be robbed both ways. I've seen this going on. We've seen this with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, it's about the resources. It ain't just about the criminal. Everybody's trying to cash out. They tried this with Aaron Hall. They've done it with R. Kelly. And the list goes on. It's going to be to the point where you're going to have to sign NDAs with people. When people are around you doing business, you're just going to have to keep it business. You're not going to be able to ride with anybody. You're not going to be able to be in a closed room with anybody. I'm talking about you're going to have a damn near a two-party system just to make sure and to assure your safety of not just you as your health, but also as your finances too. Because there's too many goddamn people coming around right now trying to say, oh, it's 8 years from now, 9 years from now, 12 years from now. And you think that it's just happening to the celebrities. Oh, no. Oh, no. You got people right now that are making 6 figures, 7 figures or better that are not in the entertainment and Hollywood industry, and they being sued currently right now. So you damn near have to look at who you got around you. Y'all gotta damn near be brothers and sisters, immediate family. And the way that that's going, you can't even trust them either too. Sexual assaults are now, to me, becoming just like weed cases that brothers used to catch, because they don't want anything but some money out of it. We've seen this with Gloria Velez. And I'm saying all these video vixens that have been around, all these people that have been around and understood what it was from that point on, now they're trying to grasp their last straw. They're trying to cash out. They're throwing a Hail Mary, a buzzer beater, just to get some fundage. And understand, and if you're any type of parent and you got your young men playing basketball, these young girls playing basketball, volleyball, or got any type of value or anything, I'm talking about assets, homes, anything, you have really got to watch yourself, because we are living in the age of fuck shit and poorness, and people now are more poor than ever. They say right now, if you've got $8,200 in the bank, you're doing better than about 50% of America. Come on, man. Come on. If anybody got a whiff of you hitting damn near 10,000, they're going to be at your door trying to get in where they fit in. Trust me. This is where we have to understand the value of who we are. That's why your presence should be a present. Everywhere you shouldn't be in the mix of where everybody should have access to you. That's why I don't move with a lot of people, because at the end of the day, nobody should have access to me that don't know me like that. We ain't doing no business. Dr. Nelly Fuller said this. If we ain't coming together to do no business, we ain't coming together to build a business or something or anything of that business endeavor, we got to stay the hell away from each other. Point blank, plain and simple. I value myself. I value the people that are around me that I really care about. And if I care about them, they're going to care about me. So you got to understand, with these type of things, that sexual assault thing can take you back. How many brothers have we seen go down getting ready to play basketball? There was an article just a couple of months ago where he broke up with the girl, and then she was saying that she was going to put a sexual assault case on him. Come on, man. Understand who you are and understand who they are, and if they should have at least 10, 15 to 30 seconds around you, because being around a sucker for 2 seconds is too long. So even with these type of situations, man, I want y'all young boys and I want y'all young women to stay guarded. You don't understand. There are people out here that are opportunists that want to take advantage of you. I'm talking about your good-hearted nature. And I want to bring this to a point. I want to bring up this. Word of the day is altruism, right? Altruism, the belief in or practice of disinterested and selflessness concern for the well-being of others. You got to understand that if you have a good nature, you've been raised right, you've been taught how to treat people, you've been respectable in your parents' way, you've been respectable in your friends' way, you've been respectable in the community, you've been respectable at your job. There are people out here looking for people like you, knowing that you are just a good-hearted and good-natured person, and they want to take advantage. That's why so many of these marriages are failing, because the people are looking for those type of people to go and exploit. They're looking to exploit those type of people because they know what kind of value they bring. And when they understand what kind of value they do bring, they want to spend time trying to tear you down. They want to spend time trying to alienate you. They want to spend time trying to figure out who you are and why you are the way that you are, by bringing you down to their level, because they'll never be able to reach or even aspire to the level of where you are as a person and as a friend, or even as a wife or a husband. Trust me, Altruism can be used in that same situation with Garth Brooks. You're trying to give a person an opportunity, you're trying to give a person a chance and making their lives better than what they could have made themselves. Be watchful and be mindful of that. I understood what Damon Dash was talking about, that he said, man, when people will have contempt for you. There are so many marriages, and I want to get to this part too. There are so many people that have helped a certain individual out, man to woman, woman to man, it don't matter, I don't give a damn, that they have took advantage and have had pure hatred because they would never be able to achieve what they achieved without that person. I'm talking about the mind frame. I'm talking about the hustle. I'm talking about the grind. I'm talking about the way they articulate themselves, the way that they think, the way that they move, the way that they hustle. Trust me, it's people right now that should be thanking they lucky stars that they are even in their presence or in their life point blank period. They should be thanking them right now. They should be thanking they lucky stars that they even took the time to mess with your sorry ass. I'm telling you, right now, we talking about people that have gotten with people that have made them more, I'm talking about more intellectual, more financially better, more emotionally better, more all the way across the board, a better person. And they learned a lot. And they turned around and had a pure hatred and a pure just contempt. I'm talking about just pure contempt for that person. You got to understand that altruism is a real thing, and you cannot let nobody play with you. That's why I said you cannot let nobody play on your top or play in your presence, play in your face. But you have to eliminate those type of people because all they're going to do is store up a whole bunch of controversy. You have to understand people that love controversy and chaos, they start what we call proxy wars. They start on both sides. We've seen it in the home. I've seen aunties start proxy wars with husband and wives. Brothers start proxy wars with husband and wives. Sisters, I'm talking about constantly. If you look at anybody across the board that always has something to say other than the elders to make the generation push forward, trust me, they ain't nothing but a whole bunch of shit talking and ain't do nothing ass niggas. And you got to understand who those people are. And these could be people that you've loved. And sometimes the right time and the right opportunity presents itself for people to take advantage of it. The right time, the right opportunity. When a blessing comes your way, trust me, don't look too far behind for the devil to be right at your shoulders, to be right there neck and neck with you. It even says in the Bible, and I told you, I'm not the most spiritual person. It says when I desire to do good, trouble is always around. That's what it is. And you got to be mindful of having those type of people in your world and in your realm. Look up this word. See what kind of word this is to you. What does it mean to you? What value does it hold? And if it holds a value to you, then you must protect it at all costs, because there are so many people out here looking with a lustful eye, a deceitful mindset, and an impure heart to take you down because of what you've reached and what you've sacrificed, what you've learned, what you've educated yourself on. You got people out here looking for that word right there, that thing right there that God has blessed you with. They trying to take it. They try to take advantage and they try to take it down from you. Be mindful of that, y'all, for real. And also, I want to talk about this, and this goes and coexists right with it. The Cardi B and Offset are airing all their business out. It's a smear campaign. It's a smear campaign, it seems like. It seems like every time these marriages end, they always go publicly. And when I say publicly, because they trying to get empathy and they trying to get their fans or whoever that they might think that they give a damn, they always try to go to them for a certain level of comfort. I feel like this right now is your audition tape. At the end of the day, if I ever broke it off, if you see me, if anything, I say the truth and I don't give a damn. Because anybody that I've said something, I'll give them this platform to stand on and we can go neck and neck. I personally don't give a damn. I've always said this about people. If you stop telling lies about me, I'll stop telling the truth about you. Anything I can say on this thing, I can back it up and say to their face. And right now, what we have between them two is a smear campaign. And this is what it's actually showing to you. Oh, if we can't get along or if we decide to go our separate ways, we just gonna turn it into a shit show where we shit on each other. Now, you ain't supposed to run to Twitter, because if you really want to think about it, you running to Instagram and running to goddamn Twitter. That's the same thing that Meek Mill was doing, I guess, apparently, right? Ain't this the same shit? But see, the thing is, we like to move the needle. We love controversy and we love a lot of negative shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I feel like that's the mother of your child, and then that's the father of your children. Y'all shouldn't even be going in like that. And the reason why I say this is because I've been there. I have literally been in that type of situation to where my name was getting dragged in the mud and I had to defend myself. It ain't like I'm gonna physically do something to somebody, so I made it a game. And yes, am I petty? Motherfucking right, I'm petty. Absolutely, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm all the way petty. Petty Pendergrass is my name. I don't play when it comes to it. But I had to learn as I transition into my 40s. Hey, sometimes you got to take a step back and realize that when you actually think that you help in a situation, you're bringing more harm to it than anything. So, in that situation with Cardi B saying that she let another dude hit, you know what I'm saying, while she was pregnant, I mean, that's the ultimate disrespect, man. All I can say is this to that situation, and it's straight up, man, for real. It was just, to me, a disgusting, distasteful thing. And what does that say about you? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. That's that.
Brother,
You know what I mean? Come on, now.
What's that?
Come on.
What's that, brother?
What did you get out of that? That wasn't anything. You know what I'm saying? That was just pitiful to me, to show that you're capable of that. But then how can we not be surprised? Because at the end of the day, this is who she was the whole time. No. And I want you to, sisters, I want you to be mindful. Brothers, I want you to be mindful. When you seen people commenting up under this type of stuff, if they subject to do that to husband and wife, what makes you think that they not subject to do it to you? Never thought about it like that, huh? See, a lot of times these situations are social experiments. And if you smart as a brother and sister, whatever, it don't matter what nationality you are, you should be observing stuff like this. Because when you start seeing people start flocking to that certain thing and co-signing certain things, that's a part of their whole genetic makeup. That's a part of their character. Pay attention. Now, most people say, oh, I'm just trolling. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's exactly who you are. So if I seen you up under them comments, oh, trust and believe, and I seen some folks up under them comments, I believe exactly that's exactly who you are. And it don't make it right on his part either, because at the end of the day, he could have been a solid dude. You know what I'm saying? He could have been faithful and what have you. He could have actually been the foundation in his marriage, the foundation of faithfulness. But I'm not saying that would have stuck on her part. But I'm just saying that could have been an introductory or a foundation or a start for them to understand one another. But for you to let it go like this, the way that it's going out, and y'all doing this publicly, what I'm convinced is that the rap industry don't have no A&Rs and no public relations people. Honestly, I think they just making the money off of them and just letting them do whatever the fuck ever without them understanding, holding their integrity, holding who they are as artists. Because to me, I don't respect no shit like that. And even as a parent, I don't respect no shit like that. Now, when my younger, immature days, yeah, I would have had a certain level of, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth on some shit, but it would have never got to the internet like the way that this is. This is completely disrespectful. And this is what I'm saying. Your children got to grow up. Because now that child becomes of age, they got a video recording. Oh, your mama a whole freak. You know what I'm saying? Your mama this and that, which we already know, you know what I'm saying, what her entertainment thing is. But nonetheless, this even feeds more fuel to the fire. And this is what I'm saying. And our youth are looking at this. This is what we do. Because a lot of our kids don't have two-parent households to say, hey, man, turn that bullshit off. That ain't how we do that. Nah, we don't go to the internet with our problems. We go to a private room with our problems. We know how to resolve things. We know how to articulate ourselves. We know how to sit down with each other. We know how to agree to disagree. We've got experience on knowing who each other is. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to turn each other into a moment of entertainment just to justify our new album coming out. or justify whatever's coming out. Nah, we're not gonna use each other like that. That's the way it's supposed to be done. And if you have a child that is considered getting into relationships and things like that, and here's what's so bad about it. This is a marriage. This ain't a relationship where it's just two youngsters going back and forth. These are two mature grown-ass people, supposed to be grown-ass people, and they doing this shit on the net, bro. Come on, man. That shit not cool. Anybody that co-signs some shit like that, you a whole ass nigga too, and I said what I said. Fuck you in your ass. That's what I'm gonna tell you straight up. And I don't normally cuss like that, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't respect no shit like that, especially when it comes to black family. We already decimated the way we are now. We already mixed up mentally due all the kind of traumas and PTSDs that we have now. Of course, I'm not gonna co-sign no foolishness like that, and you shouldn't either. We know this. We know people like this in our family right now on Facebook, doing it right now, currently airing each other out. And and here's the pitiful part of it: the children. When these type of things happen, the family gets divided. But guess what? When they go in that courtroom and they start dividing up everything, another family gets the treasures. All of what could have been possibly where you could actually sit down and to be able, like you said, even when I said about the turkey leg hut situation, y'all could come together like y'all supposed to and let that shit go, and let that shit ride, and go move on about your business, man. So, hey, sometimes you got to sit down properly away from the world to get a better understanding. I hope them two work that out in the future, but nah, I don't co-sign no shit like that. Never would I. Now, I also want to say this. Bank of America outage hits America. Bank of America was hit with an outage on Wednesday. Was left with some customers with their accounts on zero. Now, to anybody that's working hard out here trying to maintain, I can understand what it would feel to be like your bank account is on zero, even though they said it was a glitch and whatnot. Man, look here. I would be questioning the possibility of anything happening. Because what if it really did say zero and you had 30,000 in that bank account or 40,000, or you're running a business and you need to get access to those funds, or you need to transfer funds in order to make purchases or anything like that? Man, you would be in limbo. These type of things cannot happen on any type of grand scale of things, because we need to make sure that our accounts are what they are. And the reason why I'm saying this is going down the line is who was the most effective? And I want to say this: who was the most effective? Was it black families, white families, or black men, white men? I want to know this down specifically to the T, because the reason why is because, like I said, at the end of the day, we're already functioning right now. With the world being in a recession, we can't afford no more mistakes. We can't afford not to be accurate with our money, because money ain't plentiful out here right now. In this administration, this has probably been one of the worst ever. People can't afford to be seeing zeros on their accounts and stuff, and they trying to make it. We got to be serious. Those banks got to be held accountable. See, a lot of times we always try to make our neighbors accountable, but what about the corporations? Like I always tell you, man, start holding them accountable too, man, because shit like that can't happen. You know what I'm saying? Take your business elsewhere where they have a probability rate of less than none for that happening. Take your business there. And let me tell you something. And I want to say this: Bank of America was one of the banks that was bailed out in the housing market in the recession. You shouldn't be having no glitches and no mistakes when the government bailed you out. So at the end of the day, it should be a government interest to look into that to see what the hell is going on. Because at the end of the day, if the government trusted them and bailed them out, then there should be a trust level to understand that you can't afford no fucking mistakes like that. Your money's supposed to be guarded at all times. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a playing matter. And if anybody that banks with Bank of America, you should be taking your money serious. Hey, man, at the end of the day, it would have to be a viable excuse. It had to be something of damn near life and death. Other than that, I'd be withdrawing my money and taking my money elsewhere. Guard yourself. Guard your paper. Always be looking at your account. That's why I tell people all the time, hint, hint, look at your account. Don't sit here and guesstimate on what funds you have. I don't give a damn if you spent $3. I don't give a damn if you spent $2.25, $1.50, $1.25 on an Arizona tea. Shout out to Arizona tea, man. One of the most delicious drinks on the planet. Search your account and make sure that everything is there that it's supposed to be. There have been people that have taken out of accounts 1 penny or 10 cents or 50 cents and have been, man, I'm telling you, you have to guard your money, especially in these times. Guard your money. Be safe about your stuff. Make sure you put your stuff up, man. Don't let everybody have access, and don't be leaving your purse. Don't be leaving your wallet. Don't be leaving all your stuff around other people, bro, because people are looking to take. They waiting for you to slide, to have a black slide moment for them to be able to take shit away from you. Yeah, man. Guard yourself, man. Shout out to them, man. Like I say, if it happens again, if you're willing to give them a second chance, man, take your money elsewhere. Take your money elsewhere where ain't no glitches and none of this weird stuff happen. Because at the end of the day, you need your money. And you need your money to function on a daily basis. And so nobody should be playing with your paper for real. I want to talk about this too, and this is crazy. Florida law passes where homeless can't, you know what I'm saying, can't be in public. Florida law banning homeless people from sleeping in public and outdoor places takes effect. I want to talk about this, man. This new Florida law. This is pretty interesting. Check this out. I'm gonna read the little law, and this is pretty much the effect of it, right? And this is the bad part, right? It says Florida law banning homeless people from sleeping in public outdoor places takes effect. A new Florida law prohibiting homeless people from sleeping outside went into effect on Tuesday. House Bill 1365 prohibits camping on streets, sidewalks, and in parks. Local governments are required to offer temporary housing where individuals will be prohibited from using drugs. They will also be offered substance abuse and mental health treatment. This is what people have been talking about years ago. Now, no disrespect to anybody, that they had these type of treatment programs working out there in California before California started stripping them. They actually had people who were addicted to heroin out there in California, and they had people actually going to reformulate their lives and to go back into society as productive people, and they stripped the funding from California. So I want to know, is this, are the facilities already built? Is this program already put in place? Or is this just an excuse because they know that they're at the end part of the year and everybody's going to be vacationing there in Florida, so that they don't want a homeless problem or whatever to be an effect of them actually trying to accumulate commerce and to stimulate their economy during the winter season? See, I have all these type of questions because at the end of the day, where the homeless going to go? Where you just going to ship them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, where you going to go? Just keep on shoving them and shoving them and shoving them and shoving them? If anything, if y'all are going to invest, y'all should have already had this in place years ago. This should have been in place years ago. And when I say not to just effectively ban them, no, you're not going to be able to ban them because they're gonna figure out somewhere to go. I've been to Florida. I have seen the homeless. But at the end of the day, you should have a fucking shelter already put in place. See, all of these government programs, their funding should have been set aside. Your tax dollars that you put in to this work and for it to be effective, that should have already been done. Why is it taking so long for a person to be that far gone for now to you want them to be effective? But see, like I told you, whatever places that their majority of homeless are, they're going to most likely ship them away. They're either going to put them in private, they're going to either process them through the judicial system, or probably place them in another area where they may have a shelter and it's going to be limited space. I guarantee you, there's not going to be a line dedicated with the billions of dollars that are flowing down there in Florida, especially during vacation and spring break. It's not going to be effective as what I think they are. I follow legislation and I follow laws all over. I just don't follow Texas. I follow and see how other states are doing certain things and to see if they are effective. That's why I built this show, to see if California is mimicking Florida, Florida is mimicking Texas, to see what kind of effectiveness we are doing for the people. That's why I built this channel. See, when you have things like this go into law, it sounds like it's good, but how effective is it going to be in the long run when it comes to the people that are on drugs and the people that they say that they're trying to mentally help? I want to see results. I want to see tangible results from this. And I don't want to see it from a year or 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I want to see them start working right away, getting the access and getting the fundage in place to get this done. If we can build fucking casinos, we can build stadiums, God damn it, we can build things for the people too. Make no mistake. We can build stuff for people too. All our tax dollars going to the bullshit basketball stadiums and football stadiums. I personally don't give a damn about any of that shit. I don't care. What I care about is us having a compassion. Going back to the foundation of having a compassion for people. I have a compassion. I've dedicated my time. Even most people don't understand this. I've dedicated my time before I even had a car. My first car. I was catching the bus, volunteering my time with children, homeless, long time ago. That's why I understand the politics of how this thing go. And when you understand how these government programs go, how the fuck are we going to be sending millions to Ukraine and sending millions to everywhere and billions to everywhere else? And we can't even take care of the people here. Come on, man. Makes no damn sense. I want to see our people thrive. I want to see our people continue to do great things. And I want to see most of our people that are on substances and are having a little struggle with drugs, and those people that are having those mental health issues get help. Because a lot of times therapy is not effective unless you have the treatment. And then the treatment ain't effective unless you have the therapy. So I'm challenging anybody that you may know possibly out here in these streets, man, that's suffering. I want y'all to go out there and I want you to be effective in action. And when I say this, it can be in any type of area. Man, please be effective. Bring some positiveness. Bring some great energy. Bring a lot of things that what our youth don't have. A lot of people just need an encouraging word. They're on the brink of breaking, but your words can possibly save them. That's why, let me tell you something. Surprising or not, as much as encouragement my mother's put into me, I've had to put that same encouragement to my mother in her later part of her years. My father in the later part of his years. And the friends that I know that have suffered mentally about a lot of things. The only thing I pray for is for me to have wisdom now more than ever, and to have a strong mind to where I don't break down. That's what I pray for. Because of the things that I've witnessed and the things that I've seen, that's the only thing that I know is going to keep me sane and keep me here and keep me effective for my child. That's what you pray for. And these people that are going through whatever they're going through, you pray for them too. Have that same effectiveness for the people out here, because you never know, it may be your time. That same person that you may help with their substance abuse and those mental issues may be the same person that crossed your path. And they may say, hey man, and tap you on the shoulder. You was there for me. Now it's time for me to be there for you. What media platform be talking like this? You don't see none. You don't see any being effective any type of way unless it's some celebrity drama or bullshit. But I curve the lessons so that you can understand of where it's supposed to be. Understand that this ain't our norm. 20 years ago, this wasn't our norm. 50 years ago, this wasn't our norm. But now, one in 4 kids is autistic. A lot of our children are suffering from PTSD. So they're already transitioning from childhood to adulthood with a lot of mental issues. And if you don't think that they need help now, imagine all those people that have suffered and have held things in that are having those mental issues now. And now I can't even be homeless because I can't even function. I got to get the help first. And now y'all abandoning me. And sometimes I can tell you, sitting on the bench, having a moment to yourself could be effective in a way to where you can push up maybe just a little bit further. That's why I take this health thing serious, this mental health thing serious, because having the wisdom in your life and having wisdom in your spirit allow you to do things and to continue on where others can't. That's why I don't look down on people. That's why I look up and I look straight in the eyes of people and tell them to lift their head up, because that's what they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be up, not down. But you may only be down for a moment, but let me lift you up, partner. Let me lift you up, sister, because there's a lot of people that are having these mental issues and they have children too. So if you're going to do a program, Florida, I challenge you to do it right. Not just be effective for the homeless, but be effective for the children that are suffering with these same issues so that they don't become homeless. Yeah. Implement these in the schools as much as you want to implement it outside the school. Don't have a problem on the first hand and want to have a solution on the later part to solve it. Now, solve these problems and solve these issues now. Solve these issues now. And if you're a parent or if you're an upcoming parent, understand this, man. You can't do it by yourself. If you got brothers and cousins or uncles that you can trust that can actually help you out, allow it to happen, man. Because these children need as much help, much guidance, much education as much as they can. Just as much as in the schools, common sense, street sense, they need it. There's a separation on who a peer is and a parent and a child is. Understand that, bro. We got too many parents and peers together on the same level. No. It's supposed to be a difference in the two. So understand, Florida, if you're going to do something effective, do the shit right. Don't sit there and act like you're going to create a program and you're really not going to be effective with your program to really help people. Don't use this as a political moment to try to act like you're going to do something, but really do something effective to help people. And if you can't, I challenge the people out there in the state of Florida. If they don't do right, then get somebody else in there to do something better. But yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on a few things, man. And going back to the strike, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely sending a lot of love down that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending a lot of love. I'm sending a lot of love, man. 'Cause they showed up and they showed out. I'm very proud, and I'm just excited because now that's happened. Now these guys are ready to get back to work and do the thing that they love. Some of them guys out there, like you heard me say, 20, 30, 40, 20, 30 years out there, they've been doing their thing. And they've been effective in our community and our culture, man. So salute to them, man. I got to give them some love, man, for real. They proved to you that the union does work, man, and they stood behind each other. It wasn't about no color. It wasn't about no race, man. It's about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And they stood together, man, and they stood the test of time. Even though it was 3 days, they stood on business, man. Shout out to them for real. Good news, big news, man. I was going to announce, man, we definitely going to be in Kansas City. We're going to be doing a podcast out there, you know what I mean? We're going to take over out there in Kansas City. We're going to tap in with some of the people. We're going to learn some things. I got a couple people that I know out there in Kansas City, man. And I just want to show them some love. We're going to be tapping in. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to get the feel of some cities, man. You know, Kansas City barbecue, they say, is a good thing. So I definitely want to try the food. You know, definitely tap in with the people and let them know that there's always love all the way from Texas, you know what I'm saying, all the way to Kansas City. So shout out to them too, man. I want to send a special shout out to Shano, man. Definitely Jody Breeze. Also send a special shout out to Timbo, Keno. You know, like you heard me say Fry earlier. The list goes on. The damn Mexicans. My shout out to them too. We always chopping it up. Wyndham Fit, SF2, who actually did my clothing line, you know what I'm saying, sending them love too. And I want to say this too, and I want to give them some props. I want to also say this too. Y'all look for the jackets, man. I got the baseball jackets. They're going to be limited edition. You know what I'm saying? I might even throw your name on one if you want to purchase one, man. I want to do a small limited edition of the jackets too, man. The first 3-4 batches that went out, man. The shirts. I'm gonna be bringing the beanies when it get cold. Also, I'm gonna probably do a few truckers and whatnot, man. But I definitely bring in the dad hat. The dad hat is gonna definitely be something that y'all like and y'all be proud of, and more. And then, like I say, if y'all start looking across, this is what I wanted to tell you about. And I know some people that left. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be placing cups all over the liquor stores in Houston. I'm gonna have these cups. They're gonna have my logo on it. You're gonna have to get a cup. Now, behind the logo, I'm gonna be doing a special giveaway. A special giveaway to where you can attend one of my live tapings and my interviews, because I'm finna start my interviews up. And next week, I got my boy Lou coming. I gotta send him some love too. I'm gonna be interviewing Lou, so y'all be on the lookout next week. We're gonna definitely tap in. We rocking and rolling. And guess what? Creole Brat and Minnie is coming too. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna do a part 2 on them. But look behind that label. It's gonna be to where somebody's gonna be lucky to attend the taping that I'm gonna do, and you can be right there and you can get inside my world, see how I do things behind the scenes. It may inspire you to do your own podcast, but you're gonna sit down with me, chop it up with me, have some wine if you drink, or whatever that you may want. We're gonna have some complimentary food behind the scenes. Look, you're gonna have to go to these liquor stores. I'm gonna list them. You're gonna see me post them in my Instagram. You're gonna see the locations to where you can pick up the stuff, and I'm gonna put the details in the chat, not in the chat, but also on my Instagram post. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna be taking 2 lucky people, 1 man, 1 woman. Y'all will be behind the scenes. Y'all will be selected, and not just there. Y'all will also be going on some of the liquor tours that I'll be doing in the future of the city. That's gonna be around October, November. Y'all can come on along. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with the kids. You see, I'll be everywhere in the city. If you follow me on my Instagram, you see I'm all over the city. I'm in Humble, Woodlands, man. I'm in Uptown, DC, Switzerland. You feel me? So you already know where I'll be at. But I just want to touch bases with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight, man. Listen, like I say, man, don't be afraid to come up here. This chat is for any and everybody. You want to drop a comment, man, by all means. I enjoy doing what I do. Y'all, I'm setting a set schedule. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Meet me here or beat me here, whatever you want to do. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 o'clock. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things because it's always something trending. It's always something going on. And like I say, don't be scared to come up here on this platform, because this platform is for y'all and we take on all perspectives. We do listen. So don't be scared. And also look for them labels. Listen, I want to tell y'all, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for all the comments, all the whatever that y'all drop, man. Without y'all, this would not be possible. But I wanted to end tonight's program saying this. And I want to let this be my final thought. And this is real talk. Whatever you desire to do in your life, make sure it's something that you're comfortable with and you want to do. Don't ever, 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 ever leave anything on the table. If anything you leave on the table is a bunch of bullshit ass excuses. Don't allow yourself to be limited in what you're trying to accomplish. Don't let anything be a distraction in what you're trying to accomplish. Focus. 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 Let whatever reason, let anything that you can grasp to be a personal edge for you to get from point A to point B. Your goals need to be your goals need to be in your tablet. Your goals need to be in your pocket. Your goals need to be on an alarm to remind you of the things that you need to do on a daily basis. Free your mind and the rest to follow. Don't leave nothing on the table on this planet Earth, because you don't know how long you got on this motherfucker. You might be thinking you got 80s in it. You got 80, 90 years old. You got 80, 90 years on this planet. And you may only in the reality got 40. 30, 50. My next question is this. What are your people gonna say about you? What is your legacy gonna be? What is your legacy gonna be? When it's all said and done, when they close down that motherfucking casket, what is your legacy gonna be? Or they gonna say, he could have, she could have, but you know how it goes. No, I don't. What is your legacy gonna be? And if you don't know right now what your legacy gonna be, good. Now is the time to start thinking. But that's just my food for thought. I gave you the spoon and fork. The rest of y'all gonna do the dishes, man. You already know who it is. It's Rod, the motherfucking Prob. You already know how we do it when we do it, especially on a Tuesday or Thursday. We rocking out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all, man. For real. Real talk. But I want to leave y'all with this one tonight. It's a Stacktober. So it's only right that I bring my boy Stack Bundles, who I used to listen to, R.I.P. He was killed before he ever reached greatness. Far Rock's own. One of the greatest legends of Far Rockaway. Stack Bundles, man. He was gone too soon. He didn't even reach his full potential. But he's one of my favorite artists of all time. Not because of his lyrics, but his swag, his charisma, his character, and most of all, the love that he had for his people and the love that he had for his block and the love that he had for the people that fooled with him. For real. Stack Bundles, rest in peace. And to the rest of y'all, until the next time, we gonna yap about it. Like, subscribe. We out. One.
Summertime shit, man. Let's do it. I was doing crime, barely getting by, and the nigga was always stressing. We was doing time, mama getting high, but nigga life was so depressing. Now we in the rolling overseas, and I hope these trees don't get us arrested. We getting right, living out our life, and the music is so refreshing. I keep the millionaires feasting, the engineers beasting. Like Big Avell, where the fuck you been? I can serenade the streets in my plush new Benz. Spread your walls out, let me come through them. Mama, the boy gon' go cause he's 30. He look about 21, but he at least 30. Anything I want, I can get when I need it. Chickens love slurping on my dick, come and beat it. Left home without that toasty, almost caught a slug. Go get your camera, come record a thug. Moms came to cop and I sold the drugs. Coke in the cookie jar, fizzle up, something like soda does. Picture rap game without Big Avell. You fucks couldn't make it. You hot bitch, come to get naked. Looking like he spent a couple bucks for his bracelet. Scissor in the Grand Cru, straight, never chase it. I was doing crime, barely getting by, and the nigga was always stressing. We was doing time, mama getting high, but nigga life was so depressing. Now we in the rolling overseas, and I hope these trees don't get us arrested. We getting back, living out our life, and the music is so refreshing. I came a long way from posting in the hallway, hitting money, smoking purple while they pushing that roll, yeah. Mommy beefing about my cutting cars while I'm at my man crib, steady cutting up the hard. I was foolish. The D's already know my face, cause since a young comrade I've been caught my case. Back and forth to family court, and then that same court is where my family fought. Mommy, I'm sorry. Mommy screaming, don't snatch my son away, but I'm thinking to myself, they try to snatch my guns away. I was hard with it. Now I'm off the juvie hall, but I'm built for this shit, so a nigga having the ball. Eastside, I got potential in this motherfucker. Eat a nigga food and wreck his dental in this motherfucker. A nigga known for doing what he do, so when you mention my name, niggas ain't have to say who. I was doing crime, barely getting by, and the nigga was always stressing. We was doing time, mama getting high, but nigga life was so depressing. Now we in the rolling overseas, and I hope these trees don't get us arrested. We getting back, living out our life, and the music is is so refreshing.
I ain't shit, my mama first one. Papa worst one, had to walk a straight line. Trying to go to work, son. Had a little 9 to 5, but that shit ain't work long. Needed a shortcut, had to get my money long. A hustler was born, Raekwon was his first name. Always out of stock whenever that first came. Then the third came. Then them birds came. Pop my cherry, no longer a virgin. Wanted to be like Pop with none of his faults. Go as hard as he did and never get caught. I was successful, ask about him. For rock niggas couldn't fill them apple bags without him. Never sold a rock in my life with these hands. See his track records if they pull up their sleeves, fam. The name bundles and not by coincidence. I had the trap for the scratch, I'm getting it.
I was doing crime, barely getting by, and the nigga was always stressing. We was doing time, mama getting high. A nigga life was so depressing. Now we in V, rolling overseas, and I hope these trees don't get us arrested. We getting back, living out our life, and the music is so refreshing.